Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today another 3 looks 1 palette coming at ya with the Likely Makeup Ugly palette. If you watch me for any length of time, you know that my love for the Likely Makeup blush palettes knows no bounds. They're my favorite blush formula. I absolutely adore them. I use them literally all of the time. I've wanted Likely Makeup to come out with an eyeshadow palette for so long, and this is it. I did a first impressions on this palette, which I'll link in the cards, and I really have loved playing with this palette. Not to spoil anything, but I really love the way these shadows perform. I think they're excellent shadows, matte and shimmers, and I would expect nothing less from the brand that makes the best blushes in the entire world. But you'll have to just wait and see what I think of this palette at the end of the video. I will leave timestamps for each of the 3 looks that I do in the in a pinned comment, and let's just get into it because that's what you're here for anyway. I don't need to do a long intro. Okay, hello friends. First look using the Likely Makeup Ugly palette. We're definitely going bright for this entire video. I'm going to do something, well, we'll just see. But my initial plan is like warm toned. Gonna play with the orange and the red and the purples today. So I'm going to start with the shade Construction, which I love the name and I love the color. I've primed my eyes using the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I have not set my lids. And I'm just going to take this, that's pigmented, and use this as the first blending shade. So I'm just going to run this through my entire crease. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Amanita. It's a really beautiful, bright fucking red. So I'm very excited. If you're new to my channel, I love red eyeshadow almost more than life. And I'm just going to put this all over my lid. Can't wait to take this off tonight, and see what my lids look like tomorrow morning. That is such a beautiful red. Oh my god, and it truly was a dream to work with. Very nice. And I love that it's not super pink. I mean, obviously if you blend it with a pink, it's gonna look more pink, but it doesn't look like it doesn't blend or build super pink on the eyes. It's pretty true red, I want to say, so that I also really appreciate. I'm going now to take the shade Abstract, which is this really bright purple here, and I just want to see how much I can build this up, if I can make it look deeper on the eyes, you know. Okay, I'm gonna put this in my outer corner and then run it through my crease as well, so hopefully just to build up some dimension. And that's the point. Okay. building up dimension. basically going back and forth between Abstract and Amanita. Oh, I spit. And just like kind of built and blended. Oops. And then I took a clean brush and just blended over the edges. Now I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to go in with a little bit more Amanita and just place that on my lid, just so there's a bit of a smoother transition, and also make sure, or at least try, to blend this part on my lid just a little bit more, and like just get that red intensity back up. And obviously you can see too that Abstract did build really nicely, so it got to be like a really nice dark purple color, because initially it does start off quite bright, but it can build really nicely, which is always a good thing in my books. Now I'm going to go back in with a little bit more construction and just blend over the edges of this, just making sure to focus on the edges, because I'm trying not to blend it too much into the purple, just because orange and purple aren't gonna blend like amazingly into each other. But I do want that orange kind of back at the top. And these shadows are really easy to build. I really like that about these. And then just going, this is the brush I had Amanita on. Just going back and blending out. This is really nice to me right now. You know what? I'm actually going to take a little bit more Abstract on my brush and just very lightly run this through my, like the front part of my crease, just to make sure that that definition is still there after all the blending. Okay, it's looking good, I think. So now I'm going to take the shade Seraphic, which is this light pink shade, just on my finger. I'm just basically going to pat this all over my lid. It's not, I'm not trying to lay it on too thick. Like, I want to see how sheer of an application I can get with this. But we'll see. And I'm basically just blending this everywhere. This is one of my favorite things to do, is just like build mats up all over my lid and then lay a shimmer on top. I really like the way it looks, although I tend to do this with more sparkly shadows. This isn't super sparkly, so I'm just kind of seeing how it goes. I think it does look cool. I don't know if I like the full matte version a little bit better, maybe, but we've done it, so. Okay, it kind of makes it like a little bit icy. I don't hate it, but we'll just see how it looks when everything is finished up. So for my lower lash line, I mean, we do have a lot going on, so I'm just gonna keep everything same. So I'm going to take Amanita and just run this all along my lower lash line and blend it out. Okay, and so now I'm going to take Abstract and build that up on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take Construction and blend the edges of my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take the shade Seraphic, which is what I used all over my lid. I'm going to spray that with water, and then I'm going to put this in my inner corners. Okay, and I'm mostly going to leave it at that, but the last thing that I'm going to do is just take a single black eyeshadow. This is Pat McGrath's single that I use, but any black will do. Satin, metallic, matte, you name it, a black shadow. And I'm just going to use this to deepen my outer corners, because why not add more drama? We've gone this far. Okay, so I've done the black, and this is where I'm gonna leave it. I'm really happy with it. I'm going to put my lashes on, put something on my lips, and then do my hair. And then be back to conclude this first. Okay, and this is my finished look. For me, It cannot get much better than this. I'm a warm toned hoe. I love warm tones. So red, purple, and orange are kind of like it's difficult to top this. I love this look. First of all, it's really, really beautiful in my opinion. And the shadows were delightful to work with. I mean, I have used this one other time and it was good then, but it was so easy to blend, so easy to build. They built and layered on top of each other so well. I mean, honestly, I love the Likely Makeup. Oh, I didn't even use a Likely Makeup blush palette today. I meant to do that, but anyway, that's not relevant to what I'm talking about. As I was saying, considering how much I love the Likely Makeup blush palettes and how beautiful of a formula those are, I expected nothing less from this, and it really is performing truly magically. On my lips, I have the NYX Sway Matte Lip Liner in the shade Brooklyn Thorn, just like a cool toned purple, and then I have my beloved Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fussy on top. I was gonna do an orange lip, and then I was like, that might be a little bit too much, so I went with a relatively nude lip today. I have random lashes from Amazon on. I have a red in my waterline just to kind of tie in the red on my eyes. Not that I feel like it's not showing, but anyway, let's get into the second look using this palette. Okay, hello, welcome to the second look using the Likely Makeup Ugly palette. Please excuse the staining from the first look. It's actually not as bad as I thought, but if my eyelids look a little bit pink, that is why. I'm gonna do a blue and green halo eye today. I feel like I do that kind of often. Well, not often, but I don't know. Whatever. That's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm going to start with the shade Sour, this bright green. I used this in my first impressions. But today I'm going to use this as my initial blending shade. So I'm going to take this in my crease, keeping the shape more rounded. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Painterly, which is this beautiful bright blue. I haven't done blue in a while, so I'm looking forward to this. And I'm going to look at that. These shadows are really, really nice to work with. I will say that. And I'm just going to put this in my inner and outer corners and then connect it through my crease. Okay, so that is on my eyes. This blue is so nice. Oh my god, this is one of the best blue shadows that I've ever worked with. I will say it's so pigmented, easy to blend. I love it a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Ugliest. This beautiful, beautiful pukey green, and I'm going to put this, just use this to deepen my outer and inner corners of my crease. So I'm just going to put this where I place the blue and run this in my crease as well and see what color happens. Okay, so that made it really beautiful, grungy, like bluey green, delicious crease. So I'm going to quickly hop off camera, cut like the center of my crease, just like in the middle of my lid, you know, and then I'll be back. My crease is cut, whatever, you know, I blanked out my lids. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the shade Painterly, the blue, and just use this to transition onto my lid. And then I'm going to take a little tiny touch of that and run this over the edge of my crease, like through the center. And then I'm going to take the shade Ugliest and just use this to blend into Painterly and deepen up my outer corners. And then I'm going to take a teeny tiny little brush and take Ugliest and just stamp this over the edge of the middle of my crease. I will blend this because that is not how I want it to look right now.
First, ladies and gents, you brush it off. So I've taken the shade Abstract. Abstract from this palette. It's called Too Beautiful.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'll do it on myself.
Whoa.
Whoa, it didn't even show up. Okay.
That's because you barely tapped that brush in.
How to get the excess off. So as you can see, there's some purple there.
Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Melodrop, which is this beautiful bright green. But first I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer, put this on a little brush, and place this, in the center of my lid where I want the shadow to go. And then I'm going to take Melodrop and place that in the center of my lid over top of the glitter primer. I'm choking. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit more Painterly because that kind of got covered up here, and merge this, use this to merge the shimmers, well, the one shimmer that I used, and the edges. Okay, so I'm quickly going to take a little bit more of the shade Sour, which is that brighter green. I'm just going to buff this around the edges, just bring that brighter green tone back. And then I'm going to take Melodrop on my finger and use that to just intensify it a little bit more on my lid. Okay, so for my lower lash line, I'm just going to do pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to take Painterly and run this all underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to take Ugliest and deepen my lower lash line with this shade. And then I'm going to take Sour and blend this out. And then I'm going to take Melodrop on my pinky and place that on the center of my lower lash line. Before I do my inner corner, I'm going to take a matte black and I'm going to just use that to deepen the very outer corner and very inner corner of my bottom and top, like, lid, I guess you could say. Okay, so before my camera dies on me, I'm going to take the shade Luxe, this lighter green. I'm going to spray that. And then I'm going to place this on my inner corners. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put something on my lips and do my lashes, and then I will be back to conclude this look. Okay, and this is the finished look. I really like it. This eye is giving me hell and it's just watering, so if it looks a little weird on the edge, there's only so much I can do, unfortunately. On my lashes are a new pair of bold-faced lashes. This is the shade Heart, the style Heart Eyes. I love it. I feel like every time I use a new pair of lashes from them, I'm like, these are my new favorites, but these are really, really nice. On my lips, I have the NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Truffle. I put it away. Where is it? I don't even know. Oh, it's right here. In Nude Truffle, and I have the Melt Ultra Matte Lipstick in the shade 710. It's been a favorite recently, and I have a little bit of Endless Cacao just in the center because, you know, just gotta add a little bit of extra definition, and then I just put a black in my waterline. I mean, there's nothing more really to say other than this look is beautiful. The shadows, the more I use this palette, the more I fall in love with the shadows, the shadow formula. This blue, the shade Painterly, I don't typically do looks like this very often, but if you just put this all over your lid and blended it out, oh my god, that's such a beautiful blue. It worked so well. And the more, yeah, like I said, the more I use this palette, the more I love this eyeshadow formula. All right, that's all I have to say. Let's get into the third and final look. Okay, hello party people. Today we are doing the third look using the Likely Makeup Ugly palette. I'm going to do, again, I was gonna say something super colorful, but obviously super colorful. Something using yellows and pinks, I think. Just going all for it. So I'm going to start with the shade Lucid, which is this yellow. If you can hear my laptop in the background, it's exporting a video right now and it gets quite stressed. So it's blazing away and hopefully it'll be done soon. But I'm just going to take this yellow and run this through my crease as my first shade. And now I'm going to take the shade Bellyache, which is this pink. This is the only shade that I haven't used yet. Actually, no, that's a lie. I haven't used one other shade, but I'm going to use it today. So I'm going to take this pink and run this through my outer corner and my crease. We're going for very sunset eyes today, I guess. To take Abstract, this purple that I used in the first look that I did. I'm going to use this to deepen my crease. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit more of the shade Bellyache, which is the pink, and just run this over the edge of the purple. Okay, so I'm going to quickly hop off camera and do a half cut crease. You thought you could escape this video without me doing a half cut crease, but you were wrong. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back. Okay, so my crease is cut. I'm going to take the shade Bellyache now, run this over the edge, the front edge of my shadow, and then stamp this onto my lid. And then I'm going to take Abstract and also deepen around where I cut my crease as well. And then deepen my outer corner. Now I'm going to take the shade Tired, which is this blue shimmer, and this is the last shade that I haven't used yet. First, I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and put that all over the area where I cut my crease, and then take some of the shade Tired and put this all over my lid. Okay, looking very bright, a little bit like a clown, but that's okay. I'm just going to take Bellyache and use this to blend into the shade Tired. And then I'm going to take Lucid, so that yellow, and I'm going to run this, I'm going to run this over the edge of my crease, but I'm mostly going to focus it on the front half because obviously there's this purple more concentrated on the outer part of my eye, and I mean purple and yellow don't blend amazingly together. So, and then I'm going to take the shade Tired on my finger and intensify this on my lid, and also use this to help blend into the outer corner. Okay, so for my lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Bellyache, the pink, and run that all underneath my eye. And now I'm going to take Abstract and deepen my lower lash line with this shade. And then I'm going to take Lucid, the yellow, and blend the edges of the shadow up. And then finally I'm going to take the shade Seraphic, which is this light pink. I'm going to spray that and I'm going to put that on my inner corners. Okay, and then before I end, I'm going to just take a single matte black and I'm going to use this to deepen my outer corners. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to finish up my eyes, put something on my lips, and then I will be back to conclude this 3 looks 1 palette video. Okay, and this is the finished look. Very colorful. We've gone full force into color today. I mean, this is kind of a rainbow palette, so there's not really any other choice, but on my lips, get it together. I have Endless Cacao, of course. I blended it out with NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner and Sandstorm. Again, of course, one of my favorite lip liner combinations. And then I put the Sephora Collection Outrageous Plump Effect Lip Gloss in the shade 01. This is new to me and I already love it. This is the second time that I've worn it. It's basically clear, but it has a slight, it basically just feels like mint on your lips, but I love how thick and juicy it is. Although it does remind me a lot of the Essence Clear Gloss, just with like plumping effect, with a plumping effect. But anyway, I like it so far, and it's not super expensive either. Okay, moving on to this palette. I feel like I don't really have that much else to say. It's very consistent with what I thought in my first impressions, in that, color story aside, the performance of the shadows is absolutely beautiful. The mattes are spectacular. They blend themselves. I love how they layer and build on themselves and on each other. You can, like, the more layers you put on, the depth truly really does build. And I really love how they perform. The metallics are pretty, they're bright, but they're not overly sparkly. They're just like a regular metallic formula, which could be a pro or con depending on your preference. I definitely tend to prefer a little bit more sparkle in my shadows, but that's just me. I think the colors that were chosen complement the shades in the matte shades in the palette. So, I mean, and I love the packaging. It's such a like beautiful, fun, you know, palette design. It's compact, it has a mirror, you know, it's like all the things. Color story wise, same as I feel the same as what I said before. It's essentially a rainbow palette. I do like the tones that were chosen, like there's a lime green. This is such a beautiful, beautiful red. Like I love how vibrant this purple is. This blue is absolutely beautiful. And this green shade, Ugliest, which I'm pretty sure that's what the palette is based off of, is the most beautiful, delicious, dark, grungy green. But could I do this look and most of the other looks that I did in this video with other shades that I already own? Yes. And I am the queen of being able to justify any makeup that I ever buy. And not that I don't feel justified in buying this, but if you're on the market for a really beautiful rainbow palette, or you just love really, really bright, saturated color, and that's what you wear every day, and that's the only thing you want to buy, then I think you would absolutely love this palette. If you already have a rainbow palette that you love and enjoy using, I don't know, you know? I enjoyed using this palette. I'm excited to use it more. It definitely sparks a lot of creativity in me, I feel, but it's definitely not anything. I mean, I never like think that anyone needs to go run out and buy anything, but this palette is not something that I would say, oh my god, you need to have this. You know what I mean? It performs well for what it is, but it's not the most unique color story, especially for how many palettes are out there and available to buy. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my 2 cents on this. Obviously, love Lakely makeup. I always have. I'm so excited to see what palettes or products that they have coming out in the future. I can only imagine that it will only get so much better from here. Let me know what you guys think about this, if you've bought it. I've seen a lot of comments saying that, you know, the color story isn't the most inspiring, so a lot of people are gonna pass. Let me know how you feel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.